Hello everyone and welcome to a new series where I'm going to be trying to make fun, entertaining, but also educational content where both you and I can learn a thing or two about the game. We're going to kick off by looking at the top 5 water civilizations in Age of Empires 2. These will naturally be civs that perform well on water maps, backed up by good economic and military bonuses that apply in water, and we're going to dive into it and look at exactly why that is. First, we should probably address exactly what a water map is. Because there are a lot of maps with water on them, for example with small ponds in the middle or in the corners, we don't consider them specifically water maps, simply because land play will be far more impactful than water play. We're considering maps like islands, team islands, migration and maps in that direction, where the success of your play on water will likely impact the outcome of the game. Now the factors we're taking into account here are strength in 1v1 and team game, water bonuses, both military and economic, unique units on water, land economic bonuses, water technology tree, cohesion with other civilizations, and finally the team bonuses. Before we get to the top 5, I would like to quickly address how the water meta has developed over the years. The dock was always supposed to have a rock, paper, scissors mechanic where fire galleys would beat galleys, galleys would beat demolition ships, and demolition ships would beat fire galleys. However, in the past, you wouldn't have access to 2 of these units until after hitting Castle Age. We would see players of the past playing 5-6 docks in Feudal Age and galleys only, and they would be hitting Castle Age times past 30 minutes. You also didn't need to upgrade War Galley in order to get fire ships and demolition ships back then, but the balance was still in favor of galley play. These days, all ship types are available in Feudal Age, making the rock, paper, scissors mechanic actually work. In today's meta, the amount of fish, the amount of water, and the amount of distance between you and your enemy, particularly your docks in this case, heavily influence what might be the best approach for you to take. Galleys are the most suited for long distances, while fire galleys excel at the short distance, and then demo ships pretty much blow up everything you can hit. While fire galleys demolish regular galleys in small numbers, the balance of power usually shifts upon reaching 5-6 galleys as long as you have enough space to apply decent micro. You can also mix in demolition ships with your galleys to help trade more effectively against fire galleys. Another common approach to counter fire galleys is to attempt a faster Castle Age and going for unique units, such as the Korean turtle ship or the Viking longboats. Turtle ships pack a punch, but they move very slowly, and are at the same time limited to only 6 range, so they do become quite ineffective in large water. However, they can be very useful on closed, smaller water maps such as Baltic, or maps where you simply fight in one side or only in choke points, as they also have splash damage. Longboats have similar stats to war galleys, fire multiple arrows and are very easy to handle, so they are very versatile and a good choice on most maps. We do mostly think about water maps in these types of maps, but you have to keep in mind that there is always a possibility to land your enemy or get landed and apply pressure there. In most water maps, winning water also gives you an economic boost due to the fishing income, which again translates to a better economy to invest on land at the same time. With all of that out of the way, it's time to get started with our top 5 water civs in Age of Empires 2. I quickly have to point out that we are working on the version 101, 101, 432, 10.0, 5867, 13 patch version thing, so this is shortly before the Lords of the West DLC pretty much, and that's the balance we're working with. Coming at number 5, we have the Byzantines. Looking at the Byzantines, they are a specified defensive civilization, emphasized by their buildings having extra hit points. This does contribute to docks having more HP, but it also means you're lacking technologies such as masonry and architecture, which will add extra armor to your buildings. A big one for the Byzantines is their fire ships, which attack 25% faster. This is obviously massive since the fire galley holds an important place in the current meta, and that bonus alone contributes a lot to Byzantines being this high on the list. Imperial Age also cost 33% less, which means that with the fast fire ship upgrade being so cheap, Byzantines are pretty much ready to dominate the battlefield from the start in Imperial Age. Free Town Watch is helpful to notice landings due to the increased line of sight, and the unique tech Greek Fire also grants +1 range to fire ships. At maximum range it does make them quite inaccurate, but it's still a very good research to do. As far as the water technology tree goes, Byzantines have access to everything in the game. A small thing worth mentioning is that they don't have heated shot. It isn't something that is ever gonna make you win or lose the game, but it still adds up in the end, right? They also have access to every economic upgrade, making them an overall very strong civilization. In the 4th place, we find the Japanese. While listed as an infantry civilization, they certainly have a lot of bonuses applying to scenarios on water maps. First off, fishing ships have twice the hit points and a +2 pierce armor, making them way more resistant to galleys and fire galley aggression. On top of that, their fishing ships also work faster, increasingly throughout all the ages, which is a strong economic boost. Mills, lumber camps, mining camps cost 50% less wood, which means you're saving 50 wood per building, and that really helps the early game economy and transitioning to water play, as the water units are always expensive when it comes to wood. They have a unique tech that makes towers fire more arrows, called Yasama, and you actually have a lot of maps where you might want to build towers on the shoreline, maybe to secure a position to build extra docks or have a safe spot to retreat to, where this can actually be helpful, but they do unfortunately, as the Byzantines lack heated shot. Their team bonus, giving galley an extra 50% line of sight, is also not a big thing, but having extra vision never really hurts. In the technology tree, they have everything you could want except heavy demo ships. Heavy demo ships are probably the least played post-Imperial water unit, but it's still very nice to have against, for example, a Byzantine player who tends to depend on those fast fire ships. The Japanese do have access to all economy technologies except stone shaft mining, which isn't important at all, but also lacking guilds can matter in the long game, especially for 1v1s. Overall, the Japanese are a very solid and versatile water civilization. At number 3, a very dear personal favorite of mine, the Portuguese. This is the first civilization labeled as a naval civilization. All their units cost 20% less gold, and that of course includes warships. You save 6 gold per galley, and trust me, these things seriously add up throughout the game when the bonus applies to every single military unit. Researching technologies 30% faster allows Portuguese to get a tech advantage, which can be crucial in super close games where getting an upgrade 10 seconds faster than your opponent can actually win you the game. I just have to point out that this does not affect advancing to the next age, but every other research in the game benefits from this bonus. Their ships also have 10% extra HP, and their unique technology, Karak, gives their ships +1/+1 extra armor. A funny tech to mention as well is the arquebus. You usually associate this with bombard cannons and hand cannons having ballistics, but it actually also affects cannon galleons by increasing the cannon projectile speed and accuracy on moving targets. Giving allied line of sight without needing a market is their team bonus, which helps a lot on maps that require a lot of synergy between you and your teammates. This is the main reason why Portuguese are so often picked on a map like Team Islands, where landings are very frequent. And last but not least, Fetorius. One second.
Fetorius.
And last but not least, Fetorias. This building costs 250 gold and 250 stone and 20 population space, but it does give you passive income of every resource. It's not better than having 20 villagers working, but when you run out of resources on your island, this is simply a building that wins you the game. The Portuguese water tech tree is also very solid, only missing shipwright and fast fire ship, but this is easily compensated by their unique unit, the Caravel. With 130 HP and 6 attack, it functions as a water scorpion, since the projectile will go through multiple units, damaging all of them in the process. This makes the Caravel a fantastic unit, since water units tend to stack up very nicely, and the Caravel is actually viewed as the counter unit to the very powerful Viking longboat. They also do good damage to land units due to their projectile mechanic, especially due to land units generally moving slower than water units. Portuguese is the first on our list that actually has heater shot as well, and they do have access to all the economy upgrades except gold shaft mining, which isn't necessarily an upgrade you research often on water maps anyway. You might have an idea already of who the top 2 civilizations are going to be, but I would like to give some honorable mentions to certain civilizations that could easily have made it into the top 5 list. Byzantines did come in 5th, but I still feel like 2 or 3 other civs could have easily been number 5, and I would like to give you a quick rundown of who those are. Saracens are listed as a naval civilization and enjoy a strong economy thanks to their cheaper market with the taxes lowered at only 5%. Transport ships have double the HP and twice the carry capacity, and their galleys also fire 20% faster. Another consideration was the Koreans, also listed as a naval civilization. Their stone miners work faster, helping them build towers which have extra range and can also actually contribute on water. But the big bonus here is that the military units actually cost 20% less wood, which also counts for ships. Also meaning that their galleys actually cost less wood than Viking galleys all the way until Imperial Age. Missing the whole demolition ship line can make them quite awkward to play on short distance maps, but having access to the gorgeous turtle ship makes up for that. It used to cost 200 wood and 200 gold in the past, but now you actually get it for only 152 wood and 180 gold. They also had a unique tech which increased the turtle ship's movement speed, but that is now included in the elite upgrade. These new changes completely overhaul the turtle ships, which have now become a lot more popular, and you actually see them very often, and I think that's a change we're all very happy to see. The Berbers are also worth mentioning with their 10% faster moving ships, which makes them the civ with the highest potential for microing, with galleys in particular. 10% faster moving villagers also gives them a very solid economy boost, while their tech tree is only missing shipwright, confirming their overall strong position on water maps. Malay, a legendary water civ, has to be mentioned as well. Aging up 66% faster makes their economy somewhat awkward to manage and hard to properly balance, including on water maps. However, their fish traps costing 33% less and lasting forever has proven to be really useful on maps like Black Forest even, where you can fish boom while booming on land, but we've also seen its importance on proper water maps as well. There's one special game that comes to mind where I played against Hera in a tournament, where I was able to win the game simply because I had fish traps that lasted forever, and I was able to sell the food at the market to get resources for the ships I needed to win the game. Both our islands were completely empty, so the fish traps actually turned out to be the key to victory. Thalassocracy upgrades docks to harbors, turning them into arrow-firing buildings similar to castles. It used to be incredibly strong, but their damage output was nerfed and they're now pretty well balanced. Their team bonus doubles docks line of sight and can be useful, for example on Nomad to spot the fish right off the bat, or even on team islands to even see enemy fish through the center. Only missing heavy demo ships means they also have a very solid tech tree for water play. Spanish is also an interesting one. They don't have too many bonuses for water, but having a full tech tree and a team bonus that makes trade generate 20% extra gold means their team will always be favored in the late game. And of course we cannot talk about the Spanish without showcasing their cannon galleon. Benefiting from ballistics means they fire faster and with better accuracy, and trust me, when you see these bad boys firing, there's no way to dodge that bullet. In the end, I wanted to throw Turks in there. They're not a good water civ, but they have 17 ranged cannon galleons. As I said earlier, all these civilizations, besides maybe Turks and Spanish, could have easily been 5th on the list. But let's move on to the top 2, and coming in at 2nd place, a civilization dear to my heart, my home civilization, the Vikings. Their warships cost 15% less in Feudal and Castle Age, and 20% less in the Imperial Age. Free wheelbarrow and handcart gives Vikings an incredibly strong economy, as those are resources that generally isn't viewed as crucial on water maps, as they mostly impact farming, but having them for free is still a great economic boost. Their powerful unique unit, the previously mentioned longboat, is a strong asset, and it's not often you see a high-level water map without these units in action. 15% cheaper docks for you and your allies also gets everyone off to a good start. As a compensation to all these awesome bonuses, Viking do not have access to fire galleys. This means they are vulnerable on short rush distance maps, where you might be better off going for a fast castle with longboats rather than competing in Feudal Age. Galleys and demolition ships are a common approach to dealing with the mass fire galleys in Feudal Age, however, and can often work out really well for you. In the past, you actually needed a castle to be able to produce unique units such as the longboat and the turtle ship. If this was not the case, the water meta would have definitely been very different today, and Vikings would have had less of an answer to the mass fire ship meta. Vikings don't have shipwright, but the passive warship discount more than compensates for that. No guilds, nor stone shaft mining as well, but with the early economy boost, you're still well off economically. Vikings might be the best water civilization for team games, but since we also take 1-1s into account, it was simply one civ that tops them. Drumroll! Coming in at number 1, the very best water civ in Age of Empires 2 right now, with the current balance and current meta, the Italians. Being an archer and naval civilization, advancing to the next age for 15% less makes them very versatile, because your uptime will always be better than every other civilization throughout every single age, and that alone is a massive power spike. Dock technologies costs 50% less, making careening a viable option when hitting Castle Age, where no other civ will be able to afford this alongside all the other crucial upgrades. Backtracking to the Dark Age, fishing ships also costs 15% less, gunpowder units cost 20% less, which also includes cannon galleons. Silk Road, another unique tech for the Italians, will make your trade units cost 50% less, allowing you to smoothly transition from gold mining to trading while keeping military production, especially strong paired with a Spanish ally. And last but not least, their team bonus gives Condottiero to both you and your allies after reaching the Imperial Age. Being fairly cheap and also recently nerfed before getting buffed again, they remain a strong unit, especially when you can give it to a Vikings ally with higher infantry HP or a Japanese ally with faster attacking infantry. Only missing heavy demo ships, their tech tree is also very solid, simply making them the strongest and most versatile water civilization in the game. Keep in mind that I am recording this video prior to the Lords of the West DLC, so we will have 2 new civilizations in the game very shortly. Based on the little public information that is out there, Burgundians don't seem like they will be a great water civ, however Sicilians look like they might actually be pretty decent. I will leave a pinned comment below this video once the DLC is out, where I will mention and talk about the strengths and weaknesses of both these civs on water, so do come back to the video to check that out. And of course I will be making videos dedicated to both those civs in the future as well, so do stay tuned for that. In case there are balance changes with the DLC as well, I will address that as well in the comments. We have reached the end of the road for this video, and as I said first, hopefully this will be the first of many videos like this. Please let me know in the comment section below what would be your top 5 list on water, and do let me know what you want to see next. Maybe top 5 arena civs, top 5 Black Forest civs. It could really be any type of educational content, so please let me know. I'm all ears for suggestions. Shout out to T-West and Orly for contributing on the video. They also run their own YouTube channels, and you can find those in the description of this video. Thanks to Tiramis for doing the editing, and also to Mus for doing my thumbnails. This is my YouTube team going forward, and we're gonna work hard to make sure you get the best possible content out there. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and want to see more like this, and subscribe if doubt is your lord. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.